Today I'm gonna be making the best raspberry syrup that I've ever had in my life. But additionally, this episode is gonna be a little bit different. First off, I'm gonna be challenging myself by limiting how much I can spend on an ingredient. And I'm gonna see, is it more profitable and tastier to make syrup from fresh raspberries versus freeze-dried raspberry powder? So with a limit of €2.30, let's jump right into it, shall we? Alright, the way this experiment works is I'm going to be making two different raspberry syrups using fresh and freeze-dried raspberry powder. The only thing I cannot change is the value of the raw ingredients, being the sugar, the raspberry, and in the freeze-dried case, vitamin C powder. Alright, for the first experiment, I got 120 grams of fresh raspberries from the shop. I used to be able to do this as a kid. Oh, first time! Fuck you! For 120 grams of raspberries, we're going to use 500 grams of sugar. As always with all ingredients, please measure them, because now we've got 120 grams of raspberries minus 1. Anyway, put it on your induction heater, throw in the raspberries into water, and let that boil. This part always takes a fucking long time, and well, whatever. Once your water's boiling, it's taking apart the fresh raspberry, and it's releasing all those juices inside the fresh fruit. Add your sugar and stir until it's dissolved. Then you're going to take your raspberry sugar syrup off the heat and strain it into some sort of bowl. Pro tip, use the back of a ladle to squeeze out all the juices, leaving out the seeds, you know. I can get behind that. And then you're gonna let it cool and bottle it and make a mess when you're pouring it and put it into a different vessel. But you get my drift. Bottle the fucker. That's your fresh raspberry syrup. Okay, for the freeze-dried raspberry syrup, you're gonna need vitamin C or ascorbic acid, white sugar, and freeze-dried raspberry powder. 1 kilo of fresh raspberries goes into 100 grams of freeze-dried raspberry. Also, you're gonna need a vacuum sealer, an Anova water circulator or your own favorite brand of Sous Vide, a plastic box, and of course some vacuum bags. Complicated. Okay, I've skipped a step here. I have made 2-to-1 sugar syrup earlier. So instead of putting the sugar and the water into the vacuum packed bag, you're actually going to make the syrup first. And to that syrup, you're going to add freeze-dried raspberry powder and vitamin C. The vitamin C acts as a preservative, and the freeze-dried raspberry powder is going to give us all of the flavor. As I mentioned earlier, 1 kilo of fresh raspberries makes about 100 grams of freeze-dried raspberry powder. I've used 20 grams for this recipe because 20 grams will bring me to my financial limitation, €2.30. Anyway, seal, double seal, and get ready to cook that bad boy for 2 hours. Alright, just grab your tub of water and set your immersion circulator to 60 degrees, and you're gonna cook that raspberry syrup for 2 hours only. Alright, take that bad boy out of that sous vide. You hear that? Awful sound. And as usual, it's just a matter of bottling the bastard and enjoying. The cool thing about this syrup, it is much, much richer in color and more intense in raspberry flavor. If you just look at the colors, on the left is the one from fresh and on the right is from the freeze-dried powder. Much more deeper in color, much more intense in flavor, and goddamn brilliant!